Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Progressive. It's a 5-game winning streak after another dramatic walk-off win last night, this time from Corbin Carroll. And now the Diamondbacks look to continue their leap over the 500 mark as they host the Rockies on D-Backs TV. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome back to the broadcast. Steve Berthium and Bob Brenly here with you. Diamondbacks won the opener here against Colorado last night behind 7 scoreless innings from Eduardo Rodriguez. Bob, continuing this recent trend of rotation dominance.
You know, I had a pretty good rotation back in 01, but I don't recall a time when all 5 guys were firing on all cylinders the way the Diamondback starters have been lately. You see their rankings in the last 16 ball games, innings pitched, quality starts, second in ERA. Everybody firing that ball in there. Ryan Nelson depending on a lot of fastballs, E-Rod, soft contact. And tonight's starter Michael Soroka with that sweeper, all doing extremely well.
And going deep into these games, our Progressive player profile, Michael Soroka just beat Colorado last Sunday at Coors Field.
Yeah, and racking up the strikeouts, 55 punch-outs in just 49 innings of work.
Tomoyuki Sagani beat the Diamondbacks. That's the last time they lost last Saturday in Denver. He'll go for 2 in a row. We'll take a break for now. When we come back, Corbin clutched last night, the second walk-off win this week. Jody Jackson and Brandon Webb have more coming up.
Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto for a double play of savings. Start a quote by visiting progressive.com. By Ram Trucks. Hurry in for the Ram Declaration of Deals. Nothing stops Ram. By Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smashed Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. By Trajan Wealth. Going above and beyond to help you build a secure financial future. And by YRefi. Do you need relief from private student loan debt? Go to YRefi.com. Corbin Carroll, through the years, the Diamondbacks' young superstar did it again last night with a walk-off. Back with you, Jody Jackson alongside Brandon Webb as we get ready for this game. And we've heard a cool piece of video where the teammates all talk about him. What about you? I'm going to ask you one word to describe Corbin Carroll.
Fun. I just love watching him play. He's just a fun guy to watch. He does a lot of things very good.
Exciting and clutch. 4 career walk-offs. So let's go down memory lane, Webby. This is June 1st, 2023.
Yeah, against these guys right here, young and early in his young career, getting it done there. So yeah, bringing in Marte, and same year does it again. Wraps one down with the line off of Bednar, who's an excellent closer.
But a little home run off Kyle Finnegan to complete a big comeback by the D-backs.
Yeah, nothing better than a walk-off home run. And then, of course, last night, coming up with a clutch hit right there, bringing in Gabby all the way from second base. Another walk-off, 4 of them. It's amazing.
Undeniable, Corbin Carroll, and he's back in there today. Our Trajan Wealth lineup, Marte, Carroll, Perdomo. Those guys have been the engine we expected them to be lately, right?
Yeah, they've really stepped up and kind of setting the table for this lineup, especially in this homestand and on the road trip as well, the last road trip. And yeah, more of the same we've seen from the rest of the lineup right there. Looks exactly the same as last night's.
All right, Diamondbacks, as Steve mentioned, have won 5 in a row. Can they make it? Michael Soroka has been excellent on the mound. He'll be a big part of that tonight. Stay with us.
Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto for a double play of savings. Start a quote by visiting progressive.com. By Chaz Roberts, serving you since 42. By Talking Stick Resort, Playcation is back. Stay in play with rates as low as $129. By Trajan Wealth, going above and beyond to help you build a secure financial future. And by Sanderson Ford. For the best play on a new vehicle, choose Sanderson Ford. Serpientes in effect on this Friday night at Chase Field, and what a gorgeous night it is in downtown Phoenix. We're all opened up, roof and outfield panels, and welcome inside to Diamondbacks baseball on D-Backs TV. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, Joni Jackson, Brandon Webb along the way. It's a 5-game winning streak for the Diamondbacks. They've won 9 of their last 12, and they have climbed 3 games over 500. And they have the right-hander Michael Soroka on the mound tonight. Your Y-Refi starting pitcher stats: 6-2 in his first 9 starts. He just beat these Rockies at Coors Field on Sunday.
And the numbers up and down for Michael Soroka have been outstanding this year. You think about opposing teams and they load up the middle of their lineup, the 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. He's held the 4, 5, 6, 7 spots to a .212 average this year.
Here is the much anticipated Colorado Rockies lineup tonight. Thanks for that. Jake McCarthy, the former Diamondback, leads it on.
Hunter Goodman moves up to the 2 spot in the lineup. You'll notice no Mickey Moniak, which he'd usually be in the starting lineup against a right-handed starter, but Warren Schaefer doesn't have him available tonight.
He's on the injured list. Erlen Thompson, the DH, back up from Albuquerque at the bottom of that Rocky lineup. Here's a look around the diamond at the D-back defense. That's presented by CarShield.
We're going to highlight Gabby Moreno. Obviously drew an 8-pitch walk to start that rally in the 9th inning and scored the winning run on Corbin Carroll's base hit. He's got an 8-game hitting streak against the Rockies where he's hit .576 with 6 doubles, 5 runs driven in, and how about this? 2 stolen bases.
Yeah, Moniak on the injured list with the right ankle issue, so Jake McCarthy leads it off. He's in center field. We're underway. The former Diamondback on top of the Rocky lineup, 292 and 2 homers. Colorado also without their 2-time Gold Glove center fielder Brenton Doyle, so McCarthy was in center last night against the left-hander, beat out an infield single and was 1 for 4.
And showed bunt a couple times. We know that's a big part of Jake McCarthy's arsenal as an offensive player, and with that in mind, Nolan Arenado's in on the grass at third base. Now he's backing up a couple steps.
All in a strike from Soroka. Nate Tomlinson back there, our plate umpire, calling balls and strikes. A changeup fouled away. It's 1-2. Chase Field has been a Rockies graveyard in recent years. Since the 2023 season, Colorado is 3-18.
Yikes.
In this ballpark, including last night's opener. Warren Schaefer, the skipper, his club 19-32 on the year, last in the National League West. It's 2-2 on McCarthy. Jake figures to see a lot of time in center field with Doyle on the IL. He's got a left oblique contusion. 2-2 is up the middle, but right at Geraldo Perdomo. Time now, Bob, for your keys to the game. That's brought to us by Ram Trucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines with Sagano on the mound and Goodman behind the plate. This is a good combination to run on. Sagano's given up 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. Behind the plate, Goodman has allowed 22 stolen bases, only 5 caught stealing. And pile up those strikeouts. This Rockies ball club has struck out just about 100 times more than the D-backs, and with that sweeper that Michael Soroka features, could be a lot of punch-outs tonight.
Well, let's continue the Hunter Goodman theme. He is 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts career against Michael Soroka. And here he is batting second, the Colorado catcher, and sure enough, there's a swing and a miss. Goodman 0 for 4 last night, had a tough night at the plate. Struck out twice, hit into an inning-ending double play, and fouled out to the catcher with the bases loaded. That's a rough one. Skies it to left. It's got some carry to it for Lourdes on the warning track. Feeling for that wall, and he's got it up against the wall. Boy, that one was going for a while there. Everything's opened up. It's a warm night here, and that nearly carried over the fence.
Yeah, it looked like a routine fly ball off the bat, but Lourdes drifts all the way back with that right hand out, feeling for the wall, and catches it right up against the barrier.
Ooh, wow, that did not look like it was going to get that deep.
I don't think Michael Soroka thought it was going to go that deep either.
TJ Rumfield now. Rumfield, the rookie first baseman, leads the Rockies in hits this year. Came off the bench late last night, singled as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. Michael Soroka has allowed only 4 home runs in his 9 starts this year. And he's up against a Colorado lineup that's now gone 6 games in a row without hitting a home run. So it Everything points to a dominant performance by Soroka tonight, but baseball often doesn't work out that way. Soroka last week threw 38 slurves at Coors Field when he beat the Rockies. Colorado hitters swung at half of them. That slurve for Soroka generating better than a 40% chase rate. And this is a Rockies club that chases more breaking pitches than any team in the majors. And he's off to a good start. A 1-2-3 first. Diamondbacks coming up, looking for 2 in a row against Colorado. Welcome back to a Serpientes Friday at Chase Field. Roof and outfield panels all opened up for Ketel Marte and company as they go up against Tomoyuki Sugano. 9 starts this year. 36-year-old right-hander. He beat the Diamondbacks at Coors Field last weekend.
This is one of those guys that throws 7 different pitches. He'll rely mostly on a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam sinker, a splitter, a slider, a cutter, but he also throws a sweeper and a curveball. Not a good guy to guess against. Just look for something in the strike zone and hit it regardless of what it is.
Well, here is Ketel, who begins tonight's game with 10 hits in his last 20 at bats, and he leads it off against Sugano. Marte smokes one.
Oh my.
Hooked a sweeper down the line, and that's out of play for strike 1. Ketel 240 and 7 homers. Offensive uptick continued last night. Couple of singles and a critical base on balls in the 9th inning. That set the stage for Corbin Carroll's walk-off winner. One thing that indicates potential reasons for Ketel's offensive surge: he's gone 27 straight plate appearances without striking out.
Nice.
Much more selective up there. Won't chase the curveball. It's 1-1.
And it may be my imagination, but it looks like Ketel's a little closer to that inside corner of the plate. He's scooting that left foot right up on the inside line of the batter's box.
Maybe trying to defend against that split finger pitch.
Yeah, could be.
That's the sweeper right there. Carves it into the seats and left. Last night was Marte's 5th multi-hit game in the last 7. He's just been stacking up the hits. Now the 1-2. Sugano last week was under the weather when he faced the Diamondbacks and kind of gutted it out. Managed to keep them to 2 runs, 7 hits. He finished 5 innings. Warren Schaefer, the manager, said he gave us everything he had. Battling a sickness before the game. They weren't sure he'd even be able to start, but it worked out. He got the victory. Short left. Johnston coming in. And let's get a look around the diamond here at that Colorado defense.
I'm going to highlight the first baseman, J.T. Rumsfeld. First of all, his real name is, I wrote it down somewhere, Toby Joseph. The cool thing about him is, as you know, partner, they have collegiate summer leagues, so that when your college season is over, you go, and there's several leagues around the country. He played for the Round Rock Hairy Men.
Cape League, Northwoods League.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I played in the Central Illinois Collegiate League.
Oh, that's the hardest one. Wait, no.
It was actually perfect for me because the baseball field at Illinois Wesleyan University, where we played our home games, was inside the track. So left field was only about 290 feet.
Nice. This Brenly's got a lot of power to his pull side. Corbin down right away, 0-2. 283 and 7 homers. One of only 6 players in the majors with an OPS at 940 or higher. Drove in both their runs in last night's win, including that walk-off 2-out single that won it. And this was the moment last night. Couple of key bases on balls. They really built an inning. Moreno walked to lead it off. Marte walked just ahead of Corbin, and that set him up for the walk-off winner.
Well, what I really liked about that play, and I think we have another different angled replay of it, when Gabby Moreno slid across home plate on his belly, he immediately got up with a huge smile on his face because his best friend drove him in.
He told him that, yeah. There was a pinch hit sacrifice bunt by Jose Fernandez. They did a nice job in that inning against Mejia, who had been tough on them last weekend in Colorado. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Corbin Carroll. And waves at that curveball. Sagano gets his first strikeout. This guy's a pitcher. He's had a very accomplished career. More than a decade in Japan with the national team, the Yomiuri Giants. Was with the Baltimore Orioles in his first major league season last year. Now his first year with the Rockies. Geraldo Perdomo steps in. There's a scud. That's the split finger pitch. When he's on, that's a tough pitch. Jerry, 222. He's got a couple of home runs. And last night walked twice late in the ball game. Stole a base. Perdomo drills it right at Freeman, who's got it in right field. Boy, that jumped off the bat of Geraldo Perdomo. 103 miles an hour for the out, and we are scoreless after 1. Michael Soroka facing the Colorado Rockies for the second consecutive start. Last week he threw 38 slurves and beating them in Denver. Rockies swung at half of them. The Coors Banquet start your legacy. That slurve, a big weapon for Soroka this year.
Yeah, slurve is kind of a hybrid between a curveball and a slider. It's a little bit flatter than a slider. Has more horizontal break than a curveball.
Tyler Freeman, the right fielder, in the cleanup spot. He got hit by a pitch last night. Nearly got hit again there. Singled in the opener last night. Soroka, in beating Colorado last week, began the game with 3 scoreless innings on just 36 pitches. He had a very efficient start and is off to a good one today. He set down the first 4 as Arenado cleans that up. And there's one away in the second. Jackpot is open for business at our D-backs Give Back 50/50 raffle, supported by Avnet Cares, already up over $8,000. And one lucky winner will take home half the net proceeds, and the other half benefits the Diamondbacks Foundation's youth sports and outreach programs. And you can play along from home. You don't have to be here at the ballpark. Fans anywhere in Arizona can get their tickets online at dbacks.com/50/50 by the end of the 7th inning. As Troy Johnston fouls that one off, the left fielder. Johnston, 5th highest batting average in the major leagues at .324. Guys kind of come out of nowhere. The Marlins gave him a brief look last year as a rookie. Didn't want him, let him go, and Colorado's glad they did. And right away, Soroka ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Johnson has 5 hits in his last 3 games. He walked, singled, doubled, and scored twice in the D-backs win at Colorado on Sunday. Here's a look at a beautiful night here in downtown Phoenix.
Another beauty here at Chase Field.
Everything opened up. Johnston singled and scored their only run last night. He's hit in 4 straight. This is a guy that will go up there looking for that slurve. He likes to hit the off-speed stuff. This was then, there it is right there. He took a hack at it. This is where Soroka's cutter might come into play. It's a new pitch for him this year. It's been very effective, particularly against left-handers when he wants to work into lefties. Went to the changeup and picked up his first strikeout. So they don't go in, they go soft away, and Johnston bites.
Yeah, if a guy's hunting for off-speed pitches, and eventually the book is developed, you see that changeup grip right there. You throw him an off-speed pitch somewhere he can't quite get to it, like that changeup off the outside corner.
Willie Castro, the second baseman, was their leadoff hitter last night. He bats 6th tonight, and the slurve lands for strike 1. Castro last night was on base much of the game. He singled and walked twice. Michael needed 98 pitches to beat Colorado last weekend at Coors Field, went 5 2/3. His second consecutive victory on that last road trip through Texas and Colorado. Only real trouble he had was a bit of a bump in the road. He had 3 straight 2-out doubles at one point and gave up his only 2 runs of the game. That slurve is dancing up there. It's 2-2. And after that, he took care of business. Ezequiel Tovar, the shortstop, would be next. Scoops it to center. Here comes Waldschmidt on the run. Waldy is going to have to let it bounce, and Castro has a bloop hit. First hit for Colorado, a 2-out single in the second.
Yeah, didn't hit it off the barrel of the bat that time. Got it out near the end. Just didn't carry far enough for Waldy to have a chance to come in and make the play. We know he's got tremendous speed. We've seen him make similar plays recently, but just couldn't catch up to that one.
And don't play a single into a triple. Tovar in the cleanup spot last night, batting 7th today. Warren Schaefer has very little consistency in his lineups. He likes to match up, and there's a back pick to keep an eye on Castro. Doug Bernier coaching at first. Pedro Lopez is at third. 1-0 on Ezequiel Tovar. It was 1 for 4 last night. He doubled in the 5th. Tovar starting to heat up a little bit. He's had a very rough start, 206 on the year, but he's hit in 9 of his last 11 games now, including last night.
We talked about Willie Castro last night. He's stolen 3 bases this year. He's been caught twice, and you wonder if Warren Schaefer might not put some buttons in play tonight, try to get some runners in motion if he gets them on base. They have not been hitting the long ball, which is shocking for a Colorado Rockies ball club.
Not something you see a whole lot. The Rockies have now gone 6 consecutive games without hitting a home run. The last Rockies homer was Hunter Goodman off Merrill Kelly last Friday in Denver. That was the Merrill Kelly complete game. The Rockies only run that night. Ooh, they had Castro kind of leaning the other way a little bit.
A little bit of a twitch towards second base before diving back into first. Getting a little bit of a bigger lead this time.
Used up those disengagements. 1-2 on Tovar. There goes Castro. Fastball fouled away. Michael Soroka, a free agent signee this winter. 6-2 and 9 starts coming into tonight. All right, that's both disengagements now.
Yeah.
On the move is Castro, slowly hit to short. Perdomo's got it. They retire Tovar and strand Castro. Diamondbacks coming up. Nolan Arenado will lead it off. Well, check out some of our amazing drone shots from last night's D-backs TV broadcast. We'll have the drone again going tomorrow night. 7:10 start. And a reminder that DBacks.TV is now just $89.99 for the rest of the year. This is game 50 today, so you've got more than 100 games left, 110, whatever it is, about $90. Tune in tomorrow night. Check out the drone, the return of the drone. DBacks.TV is the place to go for all the info and a place to sign up. Whole rest of the season just $89.99. Nolan Arenado leads off the second against Tomoyuki Sagano. Arenado went without a hit last night. He got hit by a pitch. 273 and 7 homers for Nolan.
I'm sure some of the fans may have noticed when our cameraman followed the pitcher out to the bullpen to warm up before the ball game. As he was walking down the steps, Nolan Arenado was coming the other direction with a sweaty gray t-shirt on, just coming out of the batting cage.
That's the way he looks every day.
Yeah.
He is a worker. He's made himself one of the best players of his generation, now 35 years old, having another terrific season. Won't chase the sinker. It's 3-0. Nolan in his last 30 games hitting .323. Here comes Arenado.
There he is. Yeah, I'm done hitting now. I'll go put my uniform on.
All right, it's up to you. Swings on 3-0. Got a sinker. Mentioned Sagano's great career in Japan. Vargas on deck. 12 years pitching for their most storied franchise, the Yomiuri Giants, where he had a career ERA of 2.43. He was a 3-time league MVP and twice won the Sawamura Award, which is their Cy Young. And they said, well, you know, why don't you just stay over here? And he said, I didn't want to go the rest of my life, you know, wondering if I could have pitched over there. So he came over, signed with Baltimore last year, went 10-10 with the Orioles, led the Orioles staff in starts and innings, and then joined with the Rockies.
Yeah, 157 innings last year for the Orioles. He gave up 33 home runs. That led the American League. He's given up 9 this year in 47 innings.
Got a $5 million deal to come over here, and Arenado has the Diamondbacks' first hit. He splits the gap in left center. Nolan's heading for second, and he's got the double. Well, McCarthy did what he could to get on that thing from center, but it rolled nearly all the way to the warning track. And Arenado has his 10th double this year.
Love those extra base hits to start an inning. Arenado keeps his eye on that ball as he's running down to first base. He realizes it's going to be a long run for either outfielder, and an awkward throw for Jake McCarthy back to the infield. He's easily into second base with that leadoff double.
On board for Ildemaro Vargas, among the league's leading hitters. Vargas checks in at .325. Fouled off the bunt attempt. By the way, we've got a special guest star coming up in the next half inning. Going to join us live in the booth. Corbin Burns.
Oh, nice.
Who threw a bullpen again today. He says he's sick of bullpens, and I don't blame him. He's getting close to heading out on an assignment and is expected back sometime around the All-Star break. So we'll talk to Corbin up here in the next half inning about how it's going. He's getting close. A.J. Puck is getting close. A.J. is going to go face live hitters again this weekend, tomorrow, I believe. And then Justin Martinez shortly after that. Look out, Dave McKay with those quick feet down there.
Came right out from under his hat.
Wow. Coming at you, Mac. Ildemaro smells that RBI. Way up high. It's going to hang up for Freeman in front of the warning track. Arenado's at second, and he'll head for third. Well, they might have had a play on him, but the throw is just a little bit offline. Vargas moves the runner along now, and it's Lourdes Gurriel.
Hey, fans, when the D-backs hit a home run tonight, you score a free Jumbo Jack from Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Nice job right there by Ildemaro, moving that runner up 90 feet, giving Lourdes Gurriel a chance to drive home a run with an out right here.
Lourdes 0 for 4 last night, 220 on the year. Arenado at third with one away. Nate Tomlinson's playing with his buttons down there, accidentally hit one. Don't want to hear anything we shouldn't. First pitch splitter. That's a big weapon for Sagano. And of course, Lourdes really vulnerable to soft away, whether it's right on right spin, a splitter, a slider down and away. He'll often chase that. And so Sagano goes right after that spot. That's one disengagement marked by Nate Tomlinson behind the plate.
Yeah, Sagano got tired of waiting for Lourdes to get in the batter's box and be alert to the pitcher.
Lourdes is the king of that. He's got to do it before he gets 8 seconds left on the timer. And he'll take it down to 8 every time. And again, they try to get him to chase down and away. And that time he lays off. It's 1-1. So they start him off splitter slider. D-backs have won 5 in a row. They've not won 6 straight games since August of 24. And looking to score the game's first run right here. There it is again. Down and away, down and away. 1-2. Moreno on deck. Cabby scored the winning run last night, set up by that leadoff walk in the 9th. They're not going to change the menu for Gurriel. He's going to have to lay off those pitches. It's 2-2.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on Hunter Goodman back there behind the plate. Splitters in the dirt, sliders in the dirt with a runner at third base. Nice block that time.
Teams either pitch Lourdes this way or they jam him in with 2-seamers, cutters. Good take right there. Didn't offer, and it's full 3-2. Sagano really wanted him to swing at that. Moreno waiting on deck. Joe Mather, the hitting coach. Damian Easley. Lourdes pokes that one foul. Fights that off on 3-2. We'll keep going here. Sagano had a 1-2-3-12 pitch first. He's already worked a lot harder than that in the second. Another 3-2 to Gurriel. And Lourdes again dive bombs that splitter down there to stay alive. We'll keep going. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. He's thrown him 5 consecutive split finger pitches. And Gurriel drives this one to center. McCarthy all the way to the track. Here comes Arenado. What an at bat there by Lourdes. And he makes it 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Give a half an RBI to Ildemaro Vargas for moving Arenado up to third base where Lourdes could drive him in with that deep fly ball. Nicely done.
10th RBI of the year for Gurriel. Brings up Gabriel Moreno. So they get the leadoff double home. Bases empty, 2 down for Gabby, who's at 255. Couple of home runs. Gabby last night singled, stole a base in the 7th inning. His 3rd stolen base of the year. Has only been caught once. And then got that 9th inning comeback underway. A leadoff walk. Came around to score the winning run on Corbin Carroll's single. Fly ball deep right center. McCarthy drifting over near the pool. Still going to the warning track. Ball is carrying tonight. Diamondbacks take a 1-0 lead. When we come back, we'll be joined in the booth by Diamondback ace Corbin Burnes, who's getting closer and closer to coming on back. Nolan Arenado the double. Lourdes Gurriel the RBI and a 1-0 Diamondback lead as we start the 3rd with Diamondbacks ace Corbin Burnes here in the booth, who just said he's 1 week away from facing live hitters, and I can see the smile on your face.
It's nice to be that close.
I bet.
So we got one more bullpen on Tuesday, and then yeah, live hitters Friday, and then we're start building from there.
How many bullpens has it been now?
A lot.
I saw the story. You said I'm sick of bullpens. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm not a guy that likes to throw a lot of bullpens in season, so to throw that many was definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's been good.
Sterling Thompson, the DH, just up from Albuquerque today, leads it off against Michael Soroka as we chat with Corbin Burnes, who had Tommy John surgery last June 11th, Dr. Elatrash. So we're talking basically about 12 months. That's pretty quick by most timelines, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll be back in game action probably around that 13-month mark, somewhere around there. So kind of the timetable you hear is 12 to 16 months. It's kind of open-ended, but
you tend to work ahead of things like that.
I try to. Yeah. So we were able to kind of set this timeline early, and we stuck to it pretty well.
When you say throw to hitters, is that just like batting practice? You're out there on the mound executing your pitches, and when you eventually face an opposition, I had some guys on my team when I was managing, some teammates when I played, they hated throwing to minor leaguers. They said, you can't set those guys up.
That's kind of what I heard. Puck's been throwing his lives to some of the AZL guys, and he's like, you got to be ready for them to swing. They like to swing. So,
yep.
But it's good. It's good to get out there, and it's good to get the reads off of the swings they are taking.
So when you throw a bullpen, that's something we hear all the time. Oh, Corbin Burns threw a bullpen. AJ Puck threw a bullpen. What actually takes place? Kind of run us through the drill here. What happens?
Yeah, it depends. It's sometimes it's 20 to 40 pitches, somewhere in the range, kind of whatever we've planned for that day, and it's just working on getting that pitch count up, kind of seeing how the pitch shapes are. Perdomo stood in today and gave me some good feedback on some stuff, so it's good to get that.
Lourdes on the run, and he's able to run it down off the bat of Chad Stevens. I read where you said you're very pleased with where the velo is. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you always hear about guys coming back from TJ throwing harder.
Yeah.
I think those guys are probably a lot younger than I am coming back from TJ. So, it's been in a good spot. That's kind of not something that we've been focused on. It's more about, the command of the baseball, getting the shape to where we want. But it's always good to kind of look up to see that velocity in the right range.
Have you talked to guys, I imagine you have, that have gone through this process and what to expect as you work your way all the way back?
Yeah, it's actually been really good rehabbing with both, J Mart and Puck. They've both had it once before, so just to pick their brain about each step of the way, kind of where they're feeling the aches and pains, the recovery, that kind of stuff. It's just been good to kind of track along with those guys, and unfortunately they're doing it for their second time, but it's been good to have those guys out there. What's
it been like watching the starting rotation over the last 3 weeks?
It's been awesome. We've got some great talent out there. It's good to see everyone kind of getting into form at the right time. We've been playing good baseball, and the starters have been carrying a big workload and taking a lot of pressure off those guys in the bullpen. So it's been good, and we've rattled off 5 in a row here, so it's been good.
And Zach Gallen goes tomorrow night, then Ryan Nelson in the finale on Sunday before we head off to San Francisco and Seattle as we chat with Corbin Burns. Almost a full year coming off Tommy John last June 11th. It's 1-2 on former Diamondback Jake McCarthy. And Jake hits it in the air to center. Late break by Waldy, and he's under it. Corbin, thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to see the progress. We'll look for you out there maybe in about a month or so.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Corbin Burns.
Thanks, Corbin.
On his way back from Tommy John. Diamondbacks and Michael Soroka with a 1-0 lead over the Rockies.
Jody Jackson back with you here as we head to the bottom of the third. Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. Well, I'm biased, but we have the best TV crew in all of Major League Baseball. We are also the best fed crew, thanks to the Lamb family. That's right, the Lamb Slam chicken dinner in full effect today here, guys. There he is, Dennis Lamb. He's got the apron too, winner chicken dinner. This is an annual thing. I think sometimes we've done it twice a year, guys. Obviously, you know how well Dennis cooks it up. Tony Lamb, his wife, making that homemade potato salad and coleslaw. Those two things might be my favorite, or Dennis's key lime pie. How about you guys? What do you guys love about the dinner?
Tony makes I think it's Tony or Andy. There's Dennis Lamb, star of the Dennis Lamb Show. He makes those like fake, well, they're real, but what are they, like payday bars?
Yeah.
You ever have a payday? They make like payday bar squares for dessert.
Those are great.
And for me, nothing's better than the coleslaw. It's fantastic. Dell deep to center. McCarthy all the way back to the warning track, and there's one away in the third. So our many thanks to the Lamb family.
I was going to say, how do they do it all? How do they do it all? Do we know? Props to the Lambs, right? Dennis, Tony, Andrea, Nolan as well. All 4 of them. That's the Lamb Slam. But yeah, I just want to echo that, Steve, because, Dennis and Tony, what they do for our crew, long time, obviously, audio gurus, and then all the little things, though. That food is made with love.
Sure is. It really is.
Yeah, I rode up the elevator today with Nolan, and he had a plate in each hand. He was headed for the lunchroom to sit down and dig in.
That's Nolan's contribution, I'm told. Waldy, 306 RBIs in his first 13 games. Bats 9. Ryan walked and scored last night. Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead. Each team has one hit. Nolan Arenado and double the lead off the second. Came home with a Gurriel sac fly. Ryan Waldschmidt has what Torey Lovullo referred to as a not giving in mentality, and Torey made an interesting comment today. He said, I can feel a difference in that part of the lineup since Waldy has been here. Speaking about the bottom third, and that's, I think, from the manager, says a lot. I mean, he has joined this club that sort of has a relentless characteristic to it. I think that's a way to describe what we've seen from Ryan so far. He's pretty tenacious, relentless up there. Marte on deck. And the whole idea is to have a guy who's the 9-hole hitter, but is not really a 9-hole hitter.
See a lot of pitches, take a walk if he doesn't get anything good to hit.
And there will be a day, and it's probably not all that far away, when Ryan Waldschmidt's hitting a lot higher in this lineup. 3-2. Got caught looking at that sinker that caught the corner for Nate Tomlinson. Second strikeout for Sagano.
Yeah, Bert, I got to put out, as we take a look here at the strike three, just got fooled by a fastball right there. The little things that the Diamondbacks have been doing so well recently. Last night, Waldschmidt went first to third on a ball hit out into right field. Fernandez put down that beautiful sac bunt. Tonight, Vargas hits a fly ball to right field to advance Arenado to third base, where he was driven in. The Diamondbacks, if they get a runner to third base with less than 2 outs, they score that runner over 70% of the time. That's the best in the major leagues. League average is only 57%.
Goodness.
That's why it's so important to do those little things. Get a bunt down, hit a fly ball the opposite way, hit a ground ball through the right side to move a runner.
Those are the inches that Torey Lovullo is always talking about. And when we show you that shot of the pitchers walking from the clubhouse onto the field through the dugout, you see that big sign over their heads, and it says win the inch.
Win the inch.
And those are the inches. And when we add up all those inches, in the words of Al Pacino, can't say the rest. Ildemaro Vargas. Got him on a split. It's 2-2. Ketel has now gone 28 consecutive plate appearances without a strikeout. He's got 10 hits in his last 21 at bats. Corbin would be next. That's crushed and fair down the line. Marte will head for second. Freeman's on it, and Ketel has a double. Wow, 117 miles an hour off the bat of Ketel Marte.
Woo. That's one of the harder hit balls he's had all season, and he's had a whole bunch of hard hit balls, but that one just made a tremendous sound off his bat. Gets down in that right field corner in a hurry.
Chance for a 2-out RBI for Corbin, who struck out against Sagano in the first after his walk-off winner last night. Corbin's 4th career walk-off hit, his first since the 24 season. High fly ball headed toward the pool. Freeman is on the warning track, and it had just a little more to go. Sagano strands Marte, and it stays 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Auto owner.
We were talking about the little things that produce big wins, and Nolan Arenado shows you how to do it. He hits a ball in the gap in left center, realizes it's going to be a tough throw back to the infield for Jake McCarthy, so he ends up at second base. Ildemaro Vargas lifts a high fly ball to right field. Nolan tags and advances on to third, where he scores easily on this fly ball to center off the bat of Lourdes Gurriel. That was the easiest run he had the entire time, was scoring from third base.
It was deep enough to get him home for the game's only run. Hunter Goodman leads off the Colorado 4th against Michael Soroka. He flat out his first time up. Just took that one inside the foul pole. Soroka, when he beat the Rockies last week in Colorado. Began the game with 3 scoreless innings on 36 pitches. Tonight, 3 scoreless innings on 38. And it's 0-1 on Goodman. Softly hit, bounces up the line. Arenado has no play, and Goodman's aboard. The second Rocky hit.
And nothing you can really do about that one. Nolan, respecting Goodman's power, was playing deep down there at third base. So this, in effect, is just a swinging bunt down that third base line. Clearly was going to stay fair. Nolan has no play.
TJ Rumfield grounded out his first time, the rookie first baseman.
I joked about him playing for the Round Rock Hairy Men in the Collegiate Summer League. But this guy can play. I mean, he's second among National League rookies in hits, second in batting average among National League rookies.
Rumfield last 16 games is hitting over 330, just under 280 for the year. A 12th round pick by the Phillies out of Virginia Tech. That was in 2021. He traded to the Yankees at the end of that year, spent some time, 4 seasons in their minor league system, and was dealt to Colorado in January. Won a spot on the Rockies opening day roster. Goodman takes off. Gabby with a throw, high throw, and Goodman's in there. Hunter Goodman with his second stolen base.
Goodman got a real good jump over there at first base. Gabby comes out of the chute and fires a strike down there. Just too much of a jump over there at first base.
Goodman's a little bit of a dirt dog. He's a baseball player.
Boy, catcher stealing bases. I like it. I don't like that one in particular. I like to see Gabby do it.
Gone crazy. Rumfield 4 seasons in the Yankees minor league system. Hit 285 in AAA last year, 16 homers, but never did get a chance at pinstripes. And New York gave up on him a bit, traded him in January. Warren Schaefer got his first look at him this spring at Salt River. Said, boy, this kid's on the fastball.
Hit 5 home runs in the Cactus League.
Slurve. That's a tough take right there. 2-2.
Tried to sneak it in that back door. Started over in the right-handed batter's box and tried to nip that outside corner. Just left it out there a little bit too far.
Toby Joseph Rumfield out of Temple, Texas. Foul ground near the line for Arenado, and he's got it in fair territory for the first out. Let's get this word from the comedy team of Lovello and Hovick. It's Santan Ford.
Man, it must take a lot of juice to run that thing.
Yeah, you got that right. It sure does.
Well, who pays for it when my logo's up there?
Yeah, you do.
You know, maybe let's turn that thing off till the fans get here.
Well, the fans are here, Torrey. Torrey, that may be his best role. Seem more natural in that one. Tyler Freeman, all the hee-haw stuff paying off. Of course, Torrey's father was the longtime producer of the old classic Hee Haw show, and Torrey said, you know, I'd wake up in the morning, go down to breakfast, and there's George Goober Lindsay at the breakfast table. Loretta Lynn, all the country stars would come by the house in L.A.
Hey, Grandpa, what's for dinner?
Exactly. Where, oh, where are you tonight? Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Buck Owens and Roy Clark. I searched the world over, thought I found true love.
But you met another.
And you was gone.
Oh, nice stop by Gabby that time. Had to dive over in that left-handed batter's box to stop that one.
That was a slurve and a half right there. Whoa. One out. Goodman down there at second. A 1-1 count on Tyler Freeman, who hits a ground ball to short, backhanded by Perdomo. Tough play for Jerry, and what a backhand scoop by Vargas. A terrific play on both ends, and Goodman has to stay put at second.
Boy, it's hard to describe how hard that is to be running in one direction and then throw back in the opposite direction to get that out at first base. Perdomo's got all his momentum going toward the third base line and still fires it over there.
Great pick at the other end.
You know what? I don't have any of the defensive metrics on Vargas at first. He barely ever played there up until a couple of weeks last September. But boy, he makes every play down there.
Yes, he does.
Troy Johnston fouls that one off.
Of course, he makes every play at second base and third base and shortstop, wherever they happen to put him. He's just a good defender.
He has held down the fort. Carlos Santana, they had to shut down Santana's rehab at Reno. He's back up and is doing light baseball activities now with that adductor injury. Pavin Smith progressing nicely as well. And Vargas has held down the fort at first in the meantime. Did not go. That's Carlos Torres down there. And it's 1-1 on Troy Johnston. Soroka's at 50 pitches for the ball game, 34 strikes. He's got a 1 strikeout. He's not walked a batter. A lot of soft contact. Johnston, another guy that kind of got off the scrap heap, a 17th round pick by the Marlins out of Gonzaga. And he was once Miami's minor league player of the year, led all of minor league baseball in RBIs. That was 2023. Finally got his chance with the Marlins last year. Hit .277 in 44 games. Got waived by the Marlins last November, claimed by Colorado, and now he's one of the league's leading hitters. Came into the game tonight batting .324, 5th highest batting average in the majors. Troy Johnston, 28 years old. 3-1. Willie Castro, who singled in the second, is on deck. Haven't seen a lot of the cutter here from Michael Soroka. That's become a big pitch for him, brand new this year. Behind the 4-seamer and the slurve, it's been a highly effective pitch for Michael, but it doesn't look like he's thrown it a whole lot tonight.
I remember seeing a couple.
Yeah, not working his way now the second time through this Colorado lineup. Vargas at first. Soroka gets to the bag, and Vargas makes the play. They strand that leadoff hit by Goodman. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. You're watching the Diamondbacks Baseball Network, and it's presented by Progressive.
He's a superstar, man. Be around the best second base in the league is made me proud. How he does at the field it made me love him as a teammate, as a brother. I think he's, you know, I appreciate everything he does for me in the past, and I appreciate being his teammate.
That's Geraldo Perdomo talking about Ketel Marte, not just his teammate on the Diamondbacks, but what a moment for the organization in the World Baseball Classic this spring when he looked up the middle. And that infield, the middle infield for the Dominican Republic team in the World Baseball Classic. And there was Marte at second and Perdomo at shortstop.
Beautiful thing.
And that's impressive right there. And Jerry will lead off the fourth against Tomoyuki Sagano, who has allowed only a pair of hits, 2 doubles, and 1 run. He's done a nice job keeping the Diamondbacks on the back foot, now facing them for the second time in less than a week after a win over Arizona last weekend in Denver. Jerry lined out to right his first time. Well, Sagano, it's funny, you watch him pitch and you think, well, they'll hit this guy. Well, they didn't last time, and they haven't so far tonight. He gutted through 5 innings while he was sick last week. 2 runs, 7 hits. That's out of play. And Torlavello, in talking about that matchup with Sagano last Saturday, said, you know, we were 1 pitch away a couple of times from breaking that thing wide open. We had him on the ropes, and every time he managed to wiggle out of the corner and escape trouble. Got himself out of jam several times. That was kind of the game where the Diamondbacks have multiple base runners on. It seemed like every inning, and just couldn't drive them in. And Sagano, you look up and he's got the win.
Oh, for the timely hit.
How'd that guy beat us? And he's a very accomplished international pitcher. Arenado on deck. Doubled and scored the run in the second on a Gurriel sac fly.
He's got that split finger grip already in the glove.
Terry won't offer. It's a full count.
Yeah, occasionally from our center field camera you can see him adjusting the grip in the glove, and that time you could clearly see the index and middle finger were spread wide apart.
50 pitches, 31 strikes. He struck out 2. He's not walked a batter.
Fingers closer together this time. Not a splitter. One of his other 6 pitches.
That's right. Well, he adds what the new Rockies front office led by Paul DePodesta has been looking for as they try to, in their words, reimagine their pitching staff. Not a guy that misses a lot of bats, but he'll pound the strike zone and limit walks, keep you in the ball game, which is what he's done. And Perdomo takes a base on balls after he walked twice in last night's game. So Jerry's now walked in 3 of his last 4 plate appearances. On board ahead of Arenado. Nolan split the gap in deep left center for a double to lead off the second.
And you may recall the first key to the game tonight was start your engines. Let's see if Torrey wants to initiate a little chaos here.
And Perdomo 8 for 11 in his stolen base attempts this year. Stole a base in the 8th inning last night after a base on balls. And Sagano well aware of that. They keep him close. There's one disengagement. One nothing Diamondbacks in the 4th. Each team with 2 hits. And 2 disengagements. Advantage Perdomo here.
He's already getting a pretty healthy lead over there at first base.
Remember, Jerry is the guy that perhaps more than any other base runner who times the opposing pitcher and gets these enormous jumps. Let's see if he's got Sagano timed up. Holding for now. Arenado looks at a sweeper and it's 0-2. Dave McKay coaching at first. J.R. House is at third. There he goes. He got him timed up all right. Arenado popped it up into a light sky. Perdomo races back. Stevens in foul territory has it. And that's the first out in the 4th. We invite you to join the Diamondbacks for pregame Pilates in the ballpark. That's coming up Saturday, June 6th. It's presented by Make-A-Wish Arizona. Every special event ticket pack includes a game ticket to the game against the Washington Nationals and access to a pregame Pilates class in the outfield. These events have become enormously popular, so get your tickets now, dvax.com/Pilates, to go along with our yoga on the field classes. Yeah. Happen a couple of times over the course of the year. Ildemaro Vargas.
Jerry had such a big jump that time he stopped. Sagano was still standing on the rubber, and Jerry had taken a big step toward second base and then hit the brakes.
He's had a good long look at him there. Goodman picks it out of the dirt.
Nice stop back there by Hunter Goodman on a pitch in the dirt inside. That's a good time to pick with a left-handed hitter at the plate. It's tough for that runner to really see what's going on behind the plate.
There's a throw over there. It's 1 disengagement in this plate appearance for Sagano. You only get 2.
See, even the threat of stealing a base has changed what Sagano's doing. It changes the pitches that Hunter Goodman calls behind the plate.
There he goes. He got him timed up again. Vargas hits a ground ball to second. Castro's got it. They avoid the double play at least. And Jerry's into second with 2 outs for Gurriel.
Huge jump. And watch Sagano. You may have seen him there. He kind of ran out of your picture. He goes over to back up first base on ground balls to the infield.
Add another inch to your little things, because that's twice now that Vargas, who's 0 for 2, has moved a runner along.
Yep.
With a productive out. Gurriel has driven in the game's only run a sac fly in the second. And Lourdes knocks it through the hole. J.R. House going to wave. Perdomo. The throw from Johnston is not in time. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks. A 2-out RBI hit for Gurriel. He's knocked in both their runs.
Boy, good aggressive send there by J.R. House at third base. Usually the determining factor is the runner on the base before the outfielder picks up the ball. If he is, you go ahead and send it. But this time, Johnston had the ball way before Perdomo got to the bag, but he just outruns the throw to home plate.
There's J.R. House windmilling Perdomo home. Throws offline. Gurriel knocks in his second run. It's 2-0. And now an RBI chance for Gabby, who flying out to center his first time. Gabby's gathered up 10 hits in his last 6 games. Last night's single and a leadoff walk in the ninth and scored the winning run. Boy, you'd love the chance to tack on one more right here with a base hit. Little comebacker to Sagano. But Gurriel comes through again. After 4, Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 2-0. Well, Bet365 gives us a look around the league. What else is happening out there? The Houston Astros behind Spencer Arrighetti won at Wrigley Field 4-2. BCA a home run in the loss for the Cubs. Garrett Cole made his season debut coming off surgery. 6 innings, scoreless, but Tampa Bay beat the Yankees in the Bronx 4-2. And how about the Phillies' Christopher Sanchez? 37 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings. The streak is still alive.
Astros' first win at Wrigley since 2013. Can that be right?
I just read them. Thing about Sanchez is Phillies lost that game. Cleveland got a run in the 9th inning and won 1-0. How about that? Michael Soroka dealing again for scoreless. Willie Castro leads off the Colorado 5th.
Working his way through this lineup for the second time. Michael Soroka's thrown a lot of fastballs early. 10 of the 14 first pitch strikes, 9 of them have been fastballs.
I wonder if he has a different plan after beating these guys on Sunday. 1-1 on Castro.
Well, one thing you know for sure, these Rockies are going to swing the bat. Only 1 taken strike so far tonight. They are hacking.
Yeah, they're very aggressive swingers up there for sure. Rockies are on a 7-game road trip. They'll play 2 more here after tonight, and then they go to Dodger Stadium for 3. And Castro has another hit. Well, Willie Castro always finds a way to be involved. Last night a single and 2 walks. So far tonight he's 2 for 2. And he leads off the 5th with a base hit.
It's a little bit like their version of Ildemaro Vargas.
Yeah.
Started the game at first base, moved to second base later.
Here's Tovar now. Tovar grounded out to end the second his first time. 205 on the year. Tovar is a little bit of a mystery. 2 seasons ago at 26 homers, led the National League in doubles, won a Gold Glove at shortstop. They gave him a 7-year extension, about $63 million, but then the numbers faded last year. Only played 95 games, was on the injured list a couple of times with hip and oblique problems, and really has never recovered. Still trying to get it going. Still a young guy, only 24. But they need him to figure it out. He's going to be the franchise shortstop. And Jerry's able to knock it down, but it rolls into left. Castro stops at second, and the first 2 Colorado hitters are aboard to open up the 5th.
Just a matter of inches here. Jerry only got a glove on the ball, just kind of deflected it out into left field, but probably wouldn't have had a play anyway, even if he makes that play cleanly.
Yeah, Tovar gets up the line pretty quick.
Yep.
So 2 on and nobody out. Sterling Thompson, the DH, is the hitter. Just up from Albuquerque today. Mickey Moniak went on the injured list with ankle trouble. And so here is Thompson, who made his major league debut against the Diamondbacks last week in Denver. 1 for 9 in his big league career.
D-backs anticipating bunt. Both corners drawn in.
No sign of a bunt there.
Thompson picked up his first major league hit Monday at Coors Field against the Rangers. He was optioned back to Albuquerque the next day. And then recall today when Moniak was placed on the IL. See Arenado in on the grass. That hit him. And Soroka to start the fifth with a 2-0 lead has loaded the bases. Brian Kaplan out to the mound. Chad Stevens, another rookie who made his Rockies debut here last night, will be the hitter, the number 9 man.
Looks like a sweeper that hit him on the back foot that time. A little bit of a reset here by Cap going out there on the mound. Just take a breather. What are we going to do defensively here? We want to turn a double play.
Let's get this from Arizona 529.
Knock it out of the park when saving for your child's future educational needs. Open an AZ 529 education savings plan today at az529.gov.
Well, now 4 hits for Colorado, 2 in this inning, all singles. Stevens, the hitter, he flat out his first time. Bases full of Rockies and nobody out. Castro is at third, Tovar at second, Thompson aboard at first. Stevens started at second last night, his Rockies debut. Came up from AAA Albuquerque, where he has reached base in an Albuquerque record 39 consecutive games. He's got a 17-game hitting streak down there. Chase the slurve, and it's 0-2.
One for a called strike. Starts one close to the strike zone and leads him right out of the zone that time.
Well, it worked before, worked again. Soroka gets his first out, his second strikeout.
Boy, that is a wicked pitch.
That is his big pitch, Michael Soroka. Jake McCarthy 0 for 2 in the leadoff spot. Soroka last week against the Rockies threw 38 slurves, and the Rockies hitters swung at half of them. They will chase that pitch. It's generating better than a 40% chase rate this year for Soroka. That was the slurve right there. Jake checks. It's 2-0.
Yeah, we know how quick Jake McCarthy is out of that batter's box, but he has grounded into one double play this year. If he hits that ball hard at one of the infielders, a good chance to get out of this inning.
He's had a hot bat in this lineup. McCarthy last 23 games, round about the middle of April, he's hitting over 350. On a beautiful night here at the ballpark. Roof and outfield panels open. Bases full of Rockies with a 1 out. McCarthy hits a high fly deep toward the pool. Corbin in front of the warning track has got it. Castro will tag. Tovar to third. McCarthy the RBI, and Colorado's on the board. Boy, McCarthy, who had a grand slam not long ago, almost hit another one right there. Hunter Goodman is the hitter.
Fastball up and out over the plate for Jake. He got barrel on it. Hit it high in the air out there in front of the pool. Limit the damage. You got the bases loaded, nobody out. If you can get out of this inning giving up only 1 run, you're pretty happy with that.
Absolutely. Goodman had that swing and bunt single his last time up. Tovar at third, Thompson at first with 2 outs. Run home for Colorado. The slurve is ball 1. Goodman came into the game 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts career against Soroka. So far he's flat out and single. On a swing and bunt. Gabby's on it, and he's out. Got the tag on him right away. 2 unassisted. And a nice job by Michael Soroka to limit the damage. Bases full of Rockies, nobody out. They only get 1.
I don't want guys to go up there and walk. We walked 8 times because we were good hitters, being in a good position to see the baseball and check off of the pitch that we're not looking for. And since Waldy got here, I could feel a difference in our lineup, especially at that part of our lineup. That type of stuff's contagious.
That's really saying something for a young man that's only been here a couple of weeks. Bottom 5, the Diamondbacks lead it 2-1, and it is Ryan Waldschmidt due up second here. Adrian Del Castillo will lead it off. Steve, you spoke about that exact soundbite earlier in the broadcast, and again, it has stood out. He cites his ability to check off of bad pitches. We've seen a lot of good things from Ryan Waldschmidt so far.
And the best thing of all, Jody, is that he's able to get on base and turn that lineup card over, and that's the job. That's what's expected of the 9-man in this lineup. Dell will lead it off from the 8th spot against Sagano. 61 pitches through 4, 40 strikes. He's only allowed 3 hits, 2 of them doubles. Both RBIs by Lourdes Gurriel, a sac fly in the 2nd, a 2-out single in the 4th. Well, Dell's a bat they'd like to get going. Did draw a couple of walks in last night's opener, but the batting average now down below 190. And he got a ton of power when he connects. Scoops this high in the air to center for Jake McCarthy. And there's one away. Here comes Ryan Waldschmidt. Bob, what has most impressed you about Ryan Waldschmidt?
Much like Jose Fernandez when he first came up to the major league, there's a calmness about his game. He doesn't look nervous. He doesn't look like he's pressing. He has occasionally chased some pitches out of the strike zone. Last at bat, he took a fastball right down the middle, but he just looks like he belongs. He doesn't feel like he's overmatched or like he shouldn't be here. This is where he belongs.
Well, he has struck out in 4 of his 5 plate appearances in this series, including his first time up tonight, as you mentioned. Got caught looking at strike 3. But a 300 hitter in his first 13 major league games. Won't chase the slider. It's a ball and a strike.
I think every hitter that comes up from the minor leagues, you go through an adjustment period. You might have a lot of success early, but then teams, they find your weaknesses, they find pitches you'll chase, and then you have to make the adjustment.
And Waldy dunks it into right center for a base hit ahead of Ketel Marte. Marte, when he came up last time, hit a double into the right field corner. One of the hardest hit balls of the season. This is off the bat at 117. It's StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Man, that got through the infield in a hurry. JT Rumsfeld down there at first base is glad he didn't hit it at him.
Wow. So Ketel Marte now has 11 hits in his last 22 at bats. Boy, Goodman loved to try to control that running game. Waldy had a big secondary lead that time, just did get back.
Ketel was kind of showing bunt there. I'm not sure if that was because he thought Waldschmidt was going to run or whether he's actually thinking about bunting for a base hit. We've seen him do it before.
Marte already with 3 hits and a walk in the series. Last night his 5th multi-hit game in the last 7. A double 116.7 by Marte. We always round up. The hardest hit ball in the majors so far this year, O'Neill Cruz, hit a double 119 miles an hour.
I wonder what the limit is. I mean, there has to be a point where you can't hit it any harder.
Ketel skies it to center for McCarthy. That's the sinker from Sagano. It gets him his 2nd out ahead of Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, the top 5 exit velocities in this game all belong to the Diamondbacks, but only one of them went for the hit. That's the Marte's line drive to right.
They lead it 2-1. Each team has 4 hits. Corbin 0 for 2 after the big walk-off winner last night. He goes into this game tonight riding a 9-game hitting streak. He's hit in 12 of his last 13 overall. Waldy wants to go, and there he goes. Goodman with a throw. Tovar couldn't get it in the glove. And Ryan Waldschmidt's got his 4th stolen base.
And hopefully that'll be another one of those little things that turns into a run. Stealing a base with 2 outs in the inning, getting yourself into scoring position. What a huge jump.
Yeah, wow. Ryan Waldschmidt last year in the minors at Hillsborough and Amarillo, that's A-ball and AA, did steal 29 bases, so he can run.
Yeah.
Of course, that's on a rebuilt knee. We've talked about this transfer to Kentucky for his sophomore season, was playing in the Cape League in the summer. Stepped into a hole in the outfield and tore the ACL in his left knee. Spent most of the next year DHing for the Wildcats. One and 2 on Corbin Carroll. Diamondbacks had a chance for a 2-out RBI in the 4th when Gurriel was at second. Gabby tapped back to the mound, and now in the 5th, it's a chance for Corbin. Fighting off these sinkers.
It was a good shot of Waldschmidt as he started to take his lead off of second base. He turned around to check to see where all the defenders were playing. That way you don't have to second guess. If the ball's put into play, you already know where the defenders are starting from.
Won't chase up there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Don't see a lot of straight 4-seamers. A lot of sinkers, a lot of splitters from Sagano. Perdomo would be next. He walked and scored his last time. Corbin hits it at second. A nice diving stop by Castro. And Corbin Carroll safe. Waldschmidt's at third. Well, Castro saved the run by getting to that ball, but there was no chance to get Corbin. Flying up that line, no challenge from Oren Schaefer. It's a base hit.
Yeah, if you have to leave your feet to make a play on the infield against Corbin Carroll, you're probably not going to get him at first.
107 miles an hour off the bat. He got up that line in 30.8 seconds.
Well, now a chance for possibly some more chaos with a great base stealer on at first.
And remember, Perdomo has been very patient. He's walked now in 3 of his last 4 plate appearances going back to last night. Waldschmidt at third, Corbin at first. See if he wants to take off here. Perdomo to right field.
Get down.
Freeman able to run it down and save a run. So the Rockies defense helps him out. It's still 2-1 Diamondbacks as we head to the 6th.
We've talked a lot about Michael Soroka's slurve here tonight. And it has a lot of downward movement, unlike most pitchers that throw a slurve. It's more of an angled break across the hitting area. But Michael Soroka, when he's throwing it well, gets that slurve to go almost straight down. Very effective.
And that slurve for Soroka generates better than a 40% chase rate. The Rockies as a club chase more breaking balls than any team in baseball. So it's a good matchup for Soroka. But so far the lead is only 1. As TJ Rumfield leads off the Colorado 6th. Michael now at 70 pitches, 46 for strikes. Soroka beat Colorado last weekend in Denver, finished with 8 strikeouts, went 5 2/3, 98 pitches. Fastball up, but it's 2-1.
Brian Kaplan, Owen Dew bookending Tor Lavello, 2 pitching coaches for the Diamondbacks. Jam shot pop up, shallow left center. Lourdes on the run, and Gurriel's got it. The sliding grab. Boy, he covers a lot of ground out there. He's running really well on that rebuilt right knee.
Yeah, covers a lot of ground, especially coming in. He really had a good jump on that ball. Makes a nice sliding catch there.
Lourdes very slow to get up, and he just now is getting on his feet. And he does not appear to be all that well. And they're going to call for the trainer. This is not welcome news. Remember, it was out there last September when Lourdes suffered that gruesome knee injury and needed ACL reconstruction on the right knee. So Ryan DePanfilo running out there to have a look. The athletic trainer.
And I don't know if you noticed when Torrey was running out there, he turned around to the bench and made a signal to Banny, probably telling him who to get loose just in case you need to take Gurriel out of the game.
Figures to be either Barroso or Tawa. Let's see if we can pick up what happened here.
Just a hard slide on that left knee, but
yeah, he knew right away something was not right. Lourdes is going to leave the game. Walking off under his own power. Doesn't appear to be in any immediate pain, but something's clearly wrong. And sure enough, Jorge Barroso going to come off the bench and take over in left field. And they'll swap now, Waldschmidt and Barroso. Barroso will head to center, and Waldy will slide over to left. This is the usual alignment that they put out in the outfield when they have a lead late in the game and Barroso comes in. Another look at Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who's knocked in both Diamondback runs tonight.
A little bit of a grimace on those last couple steps before he made that great sliding catch.
So Lourdes will head to the clubhouse with Ryan DePanfilo. Ryan Waldschmidt now in left. That requires a different card. Jorge Barroso takes over in center. And the batter is Tyler Freeman, the Rockies right fielder. Freeman so far 0 for 2. Had a base hit in last night's game. Arenado, nice high hop at third. 2 outs for Soroka in the 6th, and it brings up Troy Johnston.
That's where ground balls go to die.
Well, just 4 hits against Michael Soroka for the Rockies, all singles. Pretty efficient start for him. No walks, only 2 strikeouts. He's hit 1 batter. Johnston 0 for 2. Vargas has it on the short hop. And Michael Soroka is at it again. 6 innings of 1-run ball and holding a 2-1 lead. 3 outs on 8 pitches in the 6th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Arizona Diamondbacks and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Michael Soroka has given Torlovello 6 innings, 78 pitches. A little conversation here, perhaps, about going back out for the 7th, or that might be done. It looks like it might be done. Arenado leads off the home half, and Nolan lines it right to Johnston in left for the first out.
Torre has talked lately about how tough it is to keep those guys in the bullpen sharp. I mean, Michael Soroka doesn't look like he's losing anything as he gets deeper into this ball game.
It's not like he's got a 5-run lead either. We're talking about a 2-1 game. And Soroka looks like a guy whose night is over, and there is indeed activity now in the bullpen. As Ildemaro Vargas steps in, he's 0 for 2.
Well, Vargas has made 2 productive outs in the game. He's hitless so far.
Looks like Taylor Clark has begun to loosen up for the Diamondbacks. There's a strike with a sinker inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. As the Diamondbacks look to extend their current winning streak to 6, they haven't won 6 games in a row since August of 24. 1-1 on Ildemaro Vargas. Along the line at first, scooped up by Rumfield, and 2 quick outs for Sagano. Join the Diamondbacks for the 9th annual Pride Night. It's coming up Friday, June 5th. Washington Nationals will be in town, and you can purchase a special event ticket package, get a ticket to the game, and a D-backs Pride jersey, and more. Visit dbacks.com/pride for tickets. That's coming up Friday, June 5th. 2 outs on 4 pitches for Sagano. And here is Jorge Barrosa, who came in the top half of this inning after Gurriel left with an apparent injury. I think it's interesting that 2 managers in either dugout. One's trying to get his bullpen guys in, the other is desperately trying to avoid using any of them.
Good job by Barrosa. Try to slow things down here a little bit. Took that first pitch strike pretty much right down the middle, then called his timeout. He doesn't want Sagano to have a quick inning.
Sweeper lands for strike 2. Jorge was 0 for 3 in his start here Wednesday in the win over the Giants. Started in right field. He's got 15 hits this year, 11 for extra bases.
Splitter. Sagano every now and then will wiggle his glove a little bit as he goes into his windup. You see pitchers do that, trying to fool the hitter. Banging the ball in the glove. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't.
Well, Sagano has gone over 100 pitches. He's only done it once, 101. And a win over the Padres in Denver. That was back on April 22nd. But more often than not, he's somewhere in the 80s with his pitch count, very low 90s. So he's right there right now. But the bullpen is quiet behind him. And he got Barrosa with a fastball. A quick 6th inning for Sagano. It's 2-1 Diamondbacks. Taylor Clark coming in. It's the Diamondbacks Baseball Network, and it's presented by Y-Refi.
D-backs nursing a 2-1 lead as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. We reference the Blake Street Bombers quite often every time we play the Rockies, and this is why. You want to talk about a Coors Field hangover. How'd you like to face this lineup? 95, 96, and 97. Those guys were unbelievable, and that was before the humidor, so the ball was absolutely jumping out of Coors Field, and especially those 5 guys took advantage.
Well, now they have Chad Stevens and Sterling Thompson and Troy Johnston and TJ Rumfield. Doesn't quite ring as true as Taylor Clark leads off the 7th to face Willie Castro on for the Diamondback bullpen for Michael Soroka. Taylor 22 appearances on the last road trip, worked back-to-back scoreless outings in Colorado Saturday and Sunday. and then came on, retired the only batter he faced here Wednesday in the win over the Giants. A 2.14 earned run average. Castro's been a problem. Last night a single and 2 walks. So far tonight he has singled twice and scored their only run. Another 1-run game with the Rockies late. Soroka goes 6, 1 run, 4 hits. Struck out 2, did not walk a batter, and Torey Lovullo clipped him at 78 pitches.
Yeah, no walks by a D-back starter again. They've only walked 1 batter in their last 3 starts.
Michael was coming off a 9-pitch 1-2-3 6th. He was still under 80 pitches. Torey wants to hand it over to the bullpen. Don't forget they used both Murillo, Ginkel, and Sewald, all 3 last night. So we'll see how they want to navigate this one. Another outstanding start by Michael Soroka. Boy, what a signing he's been.
Oh, outstanding.
1-2 on Willie Castro.
I mentioned it in the open of the show. I had a pretty good pitching staff in 01, but I don't ever recall a stretch of all 5 guys being as dominant as this rotation has been over the last couple of weeks.
And the great thing is the offense has finally picked it up to make it mean something. What a play by Corbin Carroll, the sliding backhander. More Diamondback defense.
Willie Castro making a bid for his 3rd knock in the ball game, but Corbin Carroll says not on my watch. Wow is right.
He tried to keep the hat on. Tovar singled his last time. The shortstop, 1 of 4 Rockies hits, all singles against Soroka. Just by diving Arenado, Tovar 2 for 3, and 1 out single. Let's get this message now from Andrew, the home buyer.
Catch the best deal for your house by calling me, Andrew, the home buyer.
Sterling Thompson, the rookie, just back up from Albuquerque today, got hit by pitches last time. Rockies had to put Mickey Moniak, their best hitter this year, on the injured list. He's got a right ankle issue. And been trying to play through it, and they finally had to put him on the injured list today. So Thompson is back up. Tovar 3 for 3 in his stolen base attempts. Just barely back in time.
Well, the D-backs have had 9 starts this season of 7 or more innings. That's the 2nd most in the major leagues, and 7 of those 9 starts of 7 or more innings have come since Cinco de Mayo.
They have won 9 of their last 12 now. They're 3 games over 500. And tonight look for their 6th consecutive win. He decided not to challenge this pickoff attempt. He might have got him on the hip.
Yeah, that's a tough call for a first base umpire. You're watching the runner reach for the base, and the throw is near his backside. It's kind of hard to see both of those things at once. Vargas may have had the tag on the hip, but no challenge.
Alan Campbell. Yeah. Alan Campbell is the Diamondbacks video coordinator. He does an amazing job, but I don't know how those guys decide yes or no in 15 seconds.
Yep.
It's amazing. That's the hot seat right there. Waldy all the way to the bullpen wall. Waldschmidt's got it. Wow! What a catch by Waldy. And once again, the rookie is into the wall. Corbin Carroll told him, dude, you've been eating wall all week. Just took another bite right there.
Boy, and watch how quickly he recovers to get the ball back into the infield. There was a runner at first base there. went halfway, but he doesn't take any chances. Spins around and fires it back in. What a play.
Ryan Waldschmidt, who just moved over from center the previous half inning. Well, with Tovar at first, that's it. Hits off the wall. That's a run. In a one-run game, sliders a swing and a miss by Stevens. Ryan Waldschmidt, another outfield gem.
At some point, he's going to have to be warned about playing at Wrigley Field.
Well,
there are bricks behind the ivy.
He's got a year. We've already froze our butts off over there. Corbin Carroll in right. Now Ryan Waldschmidt at left in the same inning behind Taylor Clark. Dinner's on him in San Francisco. Maybe here Vargas. That's going to get behind the netting. Started off with a great backhand sliding catch by Corbin in right field, and now Waldy spins around into the wall in left. And it's 0-2 on Stevens.
Boy, he has shown a fearlessness out there in the outfield. We've seen him crash into the wall several times already.
Remember how Stevens swung at every slurve he saw from Soroka. Struck out his last time up. They try the Taylor Clark slider. A little too far out there. Stevens made his major league debut last year with the Angels, played 5 games. Cleared waivers in September, signed with Colorado as a minor league free agent in December. McCarthy's knocked in their only run, a sac fly in the 5th. He's on deck. Tovar at first with 2 outs. Away, 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 and again Stevens lays off that slider. It's a full count, 3-2. Chad Stevens, an 11th round pick out of the University of Portland by the Astros, was released, signed by the Angels, was released, signed by the Rockies. 3-2. Make sure Tovar doesn't get head start. I like how Vargas, after he threw the ball back to Clark, signaled with 2 fingers. That's 2 disengagements. That's another little thing for your book. Now the 3-2. There goes Tovar. And Stevens with a pretty impressive at bat. Laid off some tight pitches, worked a walk. 2 on and 2 out for McCarthy. Activity behind him in the bullpen. And Torlavello out to the mound. Only lefty they have back there is Brandon Garcia, and Brandon's getting it cranked up right now. And he's coming in to face McCarthy. 2 outs in the 7th and a 2-1 game. Back in a moment on D-backs TV. Okay. Welcome back to Chase Field. Torlavello clipped Michael Soroka after 6 innings and only 78 pitches. Wanted the bullpen to finish this one up. 2 reached against Taylor Clark, and a big spot now for Brandon Garcia to get that final out, his 9th appearance of the year, to face Jake McCarthy. They go with a left-on-left matchup. Tovar's at second base, Stevens at first. Jake 0 for 2, drove in their only run with a sacrifice fly in the 5th. Brandon worked twice in the Giants series this week, pitched Monday and Wednesday in wins over San Francisco. There's that big power sinker. Vargas well off the bag. Brandon won the foot race with McCarthy. Terrific job by Brandon Garcia to get over there with McCarthy flying up the line. And Garcia gets a critical 3rd out. Time to stretch, leading 2-1. Diamondback defense on display in the 7th. We start with Corbin Carroll in right. The sliding backhand grab. Then Ryan Waldschmidt in left. How about Waldy spinning into the wall? Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing. Really cool plays of the game.
Really cool. And Ildemaro Vargas with a great play of his own. This little underhanded toss. He runs toward his target, leads Garcia to the base. That's the only way he was going to beat Jake McCarthy to the bag right there. Perfect feed.
Brandon, a big dude, hustled over there, beat McCarthy by half a step to maintain that 2-1 lead. That last play with 2 runners on has maintained the lead. Sugano back out there at 87 pitches, 57 strikes, and Gabriel Moreno leads off the Diamondbacks 7th. First pitch swinging, popped it up. Run field at first. And there's a quick out for Sugano as we check in with Tim Hovick and Santan Ford.
Hello, Arizona. Tim Hovick here. What are you doing? Just doing a little commercial. During batting practice? It'll just take a second. Santan Ford.
Sugano has set down 5 in a row. Del Castillo, the DH, 0 for 2. Diamondbacks a 2-1 lead. Each team with only 5 hits. Another tight one between these two. Diamondbacks won the opener last night 2-1. Two teams combined for just 10 hits. They've got 10 hits again tonight.
We've talked a lot about the Diamondbacks starting pitchers getting deep into the ball game. This is only the 4th start this season by a Rocky starter going into the 7th inning.
Well, in defense of them, they have different conditions in which to pitch on their home field, as we know.
Yes, they do.
And they'll start to get the bullpen busy. Brennan Bernardino, the left-hander. Another good job by Michael Soroka. 6 innings, 1 run, 4 hits. Sugano now at 90 pitches. Soroka's home ERA this year is 1.57. That is the lowest all time by a Diamondback starting pitcher in their first 6 home starts.
Wow.
Dell rolls it to second. Castro gets to this one, gets up. And now it's some Rockies defense to take a base hit away from Del Castillo.
Very similar to the infield hit Corbin Carroll got back in the 5th inning, but this time it's ADC running, not Corbin Carroll, and they just do get him at first base. What a play.
Boy, Willie Castro, you can put him just about anywhere on the field. He's going to make the play. Switch hitter at the plate, experienced defender. Waldy singled and stole the bases last time. Now faces Sugano for the 3rd time tonight. Torey Lovullo talked about Ryan not long ago, and of course when he came up everybody made a big fuss. He looked real good and has looked good since he's been up here, but Torey said, look, there's an initial rush when you first come up and have success right away like Waldy did, but that subsides and then reality sets in. I'm not sure it's set in yet for Ryan Waldschmidt because he just continues to make that quality contact and shine in the outfield defensively. I think this is just who he is.
Yeah, for me, the outfield defense has been the biggest surprise. I mean, he had 8 putouts in his first game playing in the outfield.
I remember that. That was crazy. 23 years old, a Diamondback first rounder just 2 years ago out of the University of Kentucky. Juan Murillo, who worked last night and had some issues, gets loose again in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Clark and Garcia worked the 7th. Murillo looks like he'll get the 8th. And we'll see what happens after that. Big out there by Brandon to get McCarthy. 3-1 on Waldschmidt. Waldy lines it into left, the base hit. He's 2 for 3.
But laid off some tough pitches in that at bat that he had been swinging at last night. That slider away just off the outside corner, and that's going to do it for Sugano.
Well, they want to get some lefties up there, although you got Ketel Marte leading off, and Warren Schaefer's going to let him face the left-hander and Bernardino. Sugano with another impressive effort against the Diamondbacks. That's 2 in less than a week. Back in a moment.
Easily the most talented teammate that I've ever played with.
He's a superstar, man.
When he's locked in, there's not a guy that I would want at the plate in a big situation other than him.
He wanna destroy the ball, going like send the ball to the moon. He can do things that other people can't, and it's very fun to watch.
Ketel Marte's already hit 117 miles an hour today for a double. He's up there with Ryan Waldschmidt at first and 2 outs against the new pitcher for Colorado. It's the left-hander Brennan Bernardino, who has 22 appearances for Colorado this year, the most in the club. Marte doubled in the third. He's 1 for 3.
Well, you look at Bernardino's history going back even to his college days at Cal State Dominguez Hills. I think he's played in every city in the United States and Mexico that has a baseball team.
Quick throw over there, and Waldy heads up is just barely back. That was a little too close for comfort.
That's that quick step-off move.
No challenge from Warren Schaefer. Bernardino, a big dude out there, 6'4", 216. Veteran at the age of 34. A year with the Mariners, 3 in Boston now, in his first season with the Rockies. Marte won't chase the curve. It's 2-0. Corbin Carroll on deck behind him. Marte has now gone 30 consecutive plate appearances without striking out. He's hot. 11 hits in his last 23 at bats. Corbin on deck behind him. He singled his last time. Marte swings on 3-0 and grounds to shortstop. And Bernardino gets the out. Juan Murillo loosening up in the bullpen as we hit the 8th. It's a 2-1 Diamondback lead. Here's a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to us by Desert Financial Credit Union. 2 more to go against the Rockies. We're with you at 6:30 tomorrow. Zach Gallen and Michael Lorenzen. Ryan Nelson goes here Sunday. Then we're back out on the road, 3 at San Francisco. And then an off day Thursday in Seattle, 3 against the Mariners over the weekend. Here's Juan Murillo, who had some extended downtime the last few weeks to prevent some overuse in the early season. Showed maybe a little bit of rust last night when he created a bases loaded jam with a 1-0 lead in the 8th, and now he's on to the 8th again for the 2nd consecutive night. Hunter Goodman leads it off for Colorado. Torey Lovullo said he has not consciously been trying to pull back, or he has been, pardon me, consciously trying to pull back on Murillo. Doesn't want to abuse him. He's been off Murillo a bit, but said maybe now we can pick up the pace a little bit. He's a very important piece of this bullpen and has been an outstanding arm back there in some big spots all year long.
Yeah, last night was the first run he's given up here at Chase Field this season.
He has been impressive. The other thing that Torey said is, I don't want anybody on this team to have 75 appearances. That's how guys get hurt. They get tired at the biggest spots late in the year. So you got to kind of parse this out if you can. And so he's been taking advantage of some of these deep starts by the rotation to give Murillo a bit of a break. But now he works back-to-back nights. Good take there by Goodman. Goodman's a guy that strikes out a lot. We've seen that in this series and last weekend as well. Only 6 players in the majors have struck out more than Hunter Goodman. Corbin will give this a look. Near the line. Headed for foul ground. And he's up and over. Ooh. Well, we've already lost one corner infielder. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has exited with left hamstring tightness, we're told, and Corbin goes over the top rope here.
Holding his hat on as he pursued that ball just off the webbing of the glove and then over the railing. I'm not a big fan of those low railings. I mean, fortunately, he was able to protect himself with his right hip right there, but man, that's a dangerous spot for an outfielder.
Hey, did you get a foul ball at the game? No, but I caught Corbin Carroll. Fastball up, 99. It's 3-2 on Goodman. 2-1 game in the 8th. Big test here for Murillo, trying to shake off the rust. Now the 3-2. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. It's a leadoff walk.
Never good, but especially not in a one-run game.
Brings up T.J. Rumfield. First baseman bats third. He's 0 for 3. Remember, Goodman singled and stole a base back in the 4th. His second steal this year. And it rolls away from Gabby, and the tying runs at second.
Not sure if there was some late movement there. It looked like Gabby just clanked that one.
That's a pass ball. Yep. Yeah. Wow, don't see that very often. Right on the glove. That was a strike too, the pitch. Rockies tonight 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They've left 6 runners on base. Changeup fouled away, and it's 0-2. Cleanup hitter on deck is Tyler Freeman. Rockies have the tying run at second and no outs in the 8th. Rumfield's one of these guys. He's one of these bat to ball guys. He's tough to strike out. Usually gets it in play somehow. That's something he says he's always taken a lot of pride in, being able to put the ball in play, trying to do something other than striking out. He can be a pesky out. Goodman, a leadoff walk, went to second on the pass ball. Now they go 2 again to Rumfield. This is where you really count on a guy like Murillo with that 100-mile-an-hour stuff to get some swing and miss, prevent the ball from getting put into play. That'll tie the game. Goodman's going to come and score easily. It's all the way in the corner for Corbin, and T.J. Rumfield has tied it at 2, and that leadoff walk comes back to bite.
Once again, Michael Soroka will walk away with a no decision at best here tonight. Just out of the reach of Ildemaro Vargas. That ball was hit hard down the line.
We'll get a pinch runner for Rumfield down there now. Braxton Fulford, who was the DH in the game last night, represents the go-ahead run, and still no outs in the 8th. Tyler Freeman, the hitter, he's 0 for 3.
May have noticed Perdomo snuck in behind Fulford out there at second base. He was almost standing on the bag. If you're on the mound and you see one of your position players that far out of position, you've got to step off. You can't go ahead and deliver the pitch with your second baseman or your shortstop standing on second base.
0-2 to Freeman. This is Murillo's requisite third batter of the inning. Ryan Thompson has started to loosen up in the bullpen. You get traffic on the bases, the bat signal goes up for the sidewinding snake with a vicious venom. 1-2. Nate Tomlinson didn't like it. That's probably a strike.
Looked like it dotted that corner right there.
Gabby had to reach all the way over there to get it. No challenge. They have both of their challenges left here. And Murillo made a really good pitch on that previous one. Johnston 0 for 3 on deck. 2-2 on Tyler Freeman. Fulford, the runner at second, the go-ahead run for Colorado, running for Rumfield. Murillo staying away from the four-seamer in this at-bat. 7th pitch of the AB coming up right now. He finally threw his first fastball right there. It'd been all sinker slider before that. It's the ground ball. Arenado chases Fulford back to that second base bag, and Murillo gets his first out. Now let's see if they want to go to Thompson, or will they stick with Murillo here for Johnston?
Watch Nolan Arenado chase the runner back to second base. It looks like he's going to run right at him and then wheels and fires to first base, and plenty of time for the out over there.
Murillo gets Johnston, who began the game today hitting .324, 5th highest average in the majors, but he's 0 for 3. Remember, this is a guy that is not a fastball hitter. He does not see fastball, which is one reason why Murillo is probably still in there. Johnston likes to sit breaking ball and off speed. And so they come right at him with heat. But you got to throw it in the zone. It's 2-0. It's 3-0.
Well, I think if he does end up walking Johnston right here, you will definitely see Ryan Thompson come in with a possibility of throwing that ground ball double play.
Second consecutive game in which Colorado has tied it up in the 8th inning. Murillo trying to keep it at 2-2. Braxton Fulford running for TJ Rumfield, who just tied the game with that RBI double. Fastball is in there. Hate the idea of having to face Castro with the series he's had. He walked twice and singled last night. He singled twice and scored a run tonight. Veteran switch hitter on the on-deck circle. Johnston calls timeout. He will sit breaking ball. If he gets a fastball, Johnston, he'll go into what he calls his emergency off-ramp swing. But against a guy like Murillo, it's hard to sit breaking ball or off speed. There's the heater at 98, and it's full.
Well, if indeed he's tardy on a fastball, there's a big hole on that left side of the infield. Jerry kind of cheating up the middle of the field. Arenado has to stay fairly close to third base.
3-2 on Troy Johnston. He was ready that time at 99. Johnston singled and scored their only run last night. He's hit in 4 straight. 0 for 3 so far tonight. They get on 3-2. Foul tip, and Gabby hangs on. They went back to the heater. And here comes Torey Lovullo for Ryan Thompson.
Challenge four-seamer up above the belt that time.
So Murillo, after a walk and an RBI double, gets a ground ball and a strikeout. He will leave in what is now a 2-2 game, and RT's on his way in.
Warriors.
Well, a big spot for Ryan Thompson. Colorado has come back to tie the game here in the 8th inning. They have the go-ahead run at second base with 2 outs. And here's Ryan Thompson, 22 appearances this year. He works Sunday at Colorado, then Monday in the opener against the Giants when he pitched a scoreless 7th inning. He'll face Willie Castro with Braxton Fulford at second as the potential go-ahead run, running for TJ Rumfield.
Ryan Thompson this season with runners in scoring position has held the opposition to a 143 batting average.
Castro singled in the 2nd and the 5th against Soroka. Scored their first run. He's 2 for 3. He's been on base most of this series. Fulford at second, the go-ahead run with 2 outs. Slider goes through the back door for a strike. Two ball game in the 8th. Each team with 6 hits. There's that inside move, and Fulford is just barely back. Perdomo wants a challenge. That's the play they put in mid-season last year with Ryan Thompson. With his delivery, there's some deception there. They'll check with Alan Campbell in the video room. He made it back in time. No challenge. They wave it off.
Hey, such an unorthodox delivery to begin with, and that bend at the waist, but the foot never goes forward. He just kind of picks up the left foot, holds it where it is, and then spins and fires back to second base really close.
Bounce to second. Marte's got it. And Thompson gets the ground ball out they needed. They strand that go-ahead run. But again, Colorado ties it up in the 8th. It's 2-2.
We used to do.
Well, last night's walk-off hero, Corbin Carroll, will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning against the left-hander Bernardino in what is now a 2-2 game. Don't forget, one of the big giveaways of the year is coming up Saturday, June 6th. Get here early against the Washington Nationals for the Corbin Carroll 30-30 mystery bobblehead. Do you get the 30 home run version or the 30 stolen base version? It's a mystery. It's courtesy of Chase. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Corbin singled his last time up. He leads off the 8th inning. He's now extended his hitting streak to 10 straight games. Willie Castro moves from second over to first, replacing Rumfield. Stevens goes from third to second, and Kyle Karros is the new third baseman. Brennan Bernardino, his 23rd appearance this year for the Rockies, most on the club. He came on to get the final out of the 7th. Off the glove of Bernardino. No chance. Go ahead runs aboard. Stevens gets an A for effort, but there's no way they were going to make that play off the deflection by Bernardino.
Yeah, if he doesn't touch that ball, Tovar probably has an easy play coming over from his shortstop position, but Bernardino deflected it just enough. And Corbin, as always, busting it down that line.
His second hit tonight. Let's see if they want to get him started. Perdomo, the hitter. Jerry walked and scored in the 4th. He's 0 for 2. Gets the bunt down. Karros is on it. Corbin's in at second. Arenado will hit. He doubled in the 2nd.
Perfect sac bunt that time by Perdomo.
Pitching change for Warren Schaefer. Back after this.
Okay, the pump.
Welcome back to Chase Field, where for the second night in a row we got some late drama. Diamondbacks and Rockies. D-backs got the walk-off winner from Corbin Carroll last night. He's the go-ahead run at second base tonight with 1 out of the 8th inning. And here's the former Rockies starter now reborn as a back-end power reliever in this Colorado bullpen. It's Antonio Senzatella, who in 14 appearances has a 1.19 earned run average.
Yeah, throws 3 different fastballs, a 4-seamer at 97 average velocity. He also throws a cutter, a sinker, mixes in the occasional curveball and changeup.
Arenado doubled and scored in the second. Go ahead run at second base with a 1 out. And he hit him. Arenado was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning last night, and he gets plunked in the 8th inning tonight. And they're on the corners now for Vargas, or pardon me, first and second.
The good news is it was a changeup, and once again he pulls that left arm in close to his body. It actually knocked the guard off his elbow that time.
Chance for Ildemaro. 0 for 3 tonight. 320 on the year. Corbin Carroll at second. Nolan Arenado at first with a 1 out. It's 2-0. Won't chase the curveball. Barossa, the on-deck hitter. He came on midway through when Lourdes Gurriel Jr. had to leave after a sliding grab in left field with left hamstring tightness.
The kind of offensive year Vargas is having, no surprise he's got 7 go-ahead RBIs this season.
More late drama in this series. 2-2 in the 8th. Now the 3-0. You know, Vargas is going to put the ball in play. He's gone 36 consecutive plate appearances without a strikeout. The 3-1. Slaps it to third. Caros to second. And Colorado is able to turn it. It's a killer double play. And so we go to the 9th. Still tied at 2. Diamondbacks trying to extend their winning streak. They've not won 6 in a row since August of 24. A 2-1 lead has gotten away late. And we're tied up 2-2 in the 9th. Jody Jackson, Brandon Webb standing by. The post-game preview coming up. Presented by Talking Stick Resort. Hopefully we're in line for another walk-off finish. Ezequiel Tovar will lead off the 9th against Ryan Thompson, who came on to get the final out and end a Rockies 8th inning threat. Tovar, Thompson, Stevens due up 7, 8, 9 in the Colorado 9th. There's a strike.
Well, 2 of the most important numbers you look at with a relief pitcher are first batter efficiency and inherited runners stranded. And Ryan Thompson has stranded 15 of 18 inherited runners this season, much like Kevin Ginkel last night. Came in with the bases loaded, got 2 quick outs. Set it up for the D-backs to come back and win that game.
They're on a 5-game winning streak. They've won 9 of 12 to get back up 3 over 500. You'd like to keep it going. But for the second consecutive night against the last place Rockies club, they've let a lead get away in the 8th inning. And the Diamondbacks over this stretch of 13 consecutive against the NL West bottom 2 teams, the Rockies and Giants, so far have gone 6-1, so they're taking full advantage of this schedule. And you'd hate to let this one get away at this point. Tovar pops it up. Gabby will toss the mask. And there's one away in the 9th. Barossa, Moreno, Del Castillo, the Diamondbacks scheduled hitters in the home half. Here comes Sterling Thompson, the DH, just up from Albuquerque again today. Thompson recalled from AAA when Colorado had to put Mickey Moniak on the injured list. He's got a right ankle issue, which has been bothering him for much of this week, trying to play through it. They finally had to shut him down. So Thompson was called back up, just got sent down on Monday. Now he's back before the end of the week. 2-0 on the rookie. Big tall guy, 6'3", 209. A Rockies first round pick 4 years ago out of University of Florida. Bullpen is quiet behind Ryan Thompson. No one warming up in Colorado. It's the Thompson twins.
I couldn't think of a Thompson Twins song.
Hold Me Now.
Trying to look it up, but
Hold Me Now? You're not quick enough.
Not quick enough.
Your thing is set to the 70s. Mine's set to the 80s.
Yeah, that's your.
I have a picture pinned to my wall. Got Thompson Twins and Hee Haw for you on the same show.
Why do you hate music?
I don't know. I like music. I just like my music.
Okay.
Which most people hate. Well, that's not true. Well, it's 3-2. And a leadoff walk by Murillo in the 8th inning that created the tying run. You don't want to lose Thompson here. Chad Stevens on deck. This is headed for the gap. Barossa over to cut it off. Thompson with those big strides is in at second. And again, the Rockies have the go-ahead run at second base.
Boy, Barossa really showcasing his speed, cutting that ball off. That could very easily have rolled all the way out to the 413 mark and gone for 3 instead of just 2. But Barossa closes ground, backhanded play, and quickly gets it back in to hold him to a double.
Brian Kaplan, the slow walk out to the mound. Some stirring in the bullpen. Looks like the phone's ringing down there. They're going to get somebody else up. Torvelo clipped Michael Soroka, who was doing very well after 6 innings at 78 pitches. We've seen Clark, Garcia, Murillo, Thompson, and now Ginkel. Remember, Kevin got them out of a massive mess in the game last night. He has become the miracle man. Elvis Costello, by the way. You're not down with Elvis?
A little bit of it.
All right.
Watching the detectives, yeah.
There you go. Colorado with runners in scoring position in this series so far, just 2 for 17. So they've had opportunities. Here's Stevens, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Stevens made his Rockies debut yesterday. Came up from their AAA club at Albuquerque, where he's got an active 17-game hitting streak. He was hitting .362 down there.
Probably didn't see many right-handed sidearm pitchers down in Albuquerque.
Wouldn't think. But hey, if you can keep the ball down in Albuquerque on the ground, you're doing something right. Warren Schaefer, the skipper. Oh boy, Stevens fights it off and dunks it into short right. They will wave Thompson. Here's the throw from Corbin, and the Rockies have come back to take the lead. Chad Stevens dunks one into right field, and it's 3-2 Colorado.
It looked like a frisbee slider that stayed right up at the top of the strike zone for Stevens, and he just bumps it out there into right field.
Jake McCarthy
Back-to-back hits for Colorado with 1 out. They have a 3-2 lead. Ginkel has sat back down in the bullpen. Rockies have out hit the Diamondbacks 8-7. Jake fouls off a sinker and it's 1-1. Dramatic comeback here by Colorado, a place where they are 3-18 since the 2023 season. They've had almost no luck here at Chase Field. Nearly came back last night. They've completed the comeback tonight and lead at 3-2 in the 9th. Warren Schaefer's club 19-32. This would be a big one for them. Well, don't know if this is the unintended consequence of these starters going so deep into the ball games all the time, and that the relievers have not worked a whole lot. And some guys are going once or at best twice a week at this point. Not quite enough. There's a guy sitting with a baseball foul ball he just caught down the row. It's Amiel Sade. Amiel with a tremendous catch down there. Still got those quick hands. That's out of play. Watch Amiel here. Wow, one-handed. That's impressive. Mike Fitzgerald with the acknowledgement. There he is. Don't hit Blythe. 2-2 on Jake McCarthy. Chad Stevens keeps getting a head start.
We're looking at the National League West standings. The Giants are getting beat by the White Sox today. If the Rockies would hang on and win this one, they'd only be a half a game in last place.
Gotta pick your target.
That's right.
8th pitch of the at-bat. McCarthy skies it to right center. Stevens took off on the pitch. Barrosa's got it.
And that's out number 2 in the 9th. Brings up Hunter Goodman.
Yeah, the Giants are getting pounded by the White Sox. Last I looked, it was 9-4 in the 7th inning.
We'll be in San Francisco Monday for a 3-game set with the Giants. Wrap up this stretch of 13 consecutive games against the Rockies and Giants. Goodman singled and stole a base in the 4th, walked and scored in the 8th. Barosa, Moreno, Del Castillo scheduled up in the home half of the 9th, now trailing 3-2.
Goodman pokes it into left for a base hit. Waldy over to pick it up. Stevens chugs into 3rd.
3 hits off Thompson in a span of 4 batters for the Rockies.
Goodman got out front just a little bit, which allowed him to hook that ball down the left field line. And Perdomo immediately checks on that runner, going from first to second possibly.
Kyle Karros, who came in as a defensive sub after they had some move some pieces around after Rumfield was run for, will get his first at bat tonight. Took over at third base. 0 for 4 last night. Karros 207 on the year with a home run. Chad Stevens at third base for the Rockies. Hunter Goodman's at first. Goodman's already stolen one bag tonight. That's 2 disengagements. Tied him up with that sinker. Karros recently had a 9-game hitting streak end earlier this month, and since it ended, he's just 4 for 28. Oh, 2. More activity in the Diamondback bullpen now. Thompson coming up on 30 pitches. Jonathan Elizaga, the right-hander. Stevens is at third base. Goodman's at first with 2 outs. Colorado 1 in the 8th to tie, 1 in the 9th to take the lead. And Goodman will jog into second uncontested. Challenge. Nate Tomlinson says ball. It was well below the zone. Freeman would be next, the cleanup man. 2-2 on Kyle Karros. Well, he's seen plenty of that sinker, and now it's full. Ryan at 30 pitches, 21 strikes. Got him with another one. But the Rockies take the lead. Diamondbacks down 3-2, bottom 9 coming up.
Good things.
Well, it's been a pretty dramatic week. Of course, Ketel Marte's first career walk-off home run beat the Giants Tuesday night as they swept San Francisco. Then they won the opener last night against Colorado on Corbin Carroll's RBI walk-off hit. And now they're going to need another dramatic comeback, suddenly trailing 3-2 bottom 9 against Antonio Senzatella and the Colorado Rockies. And Jose Fernandez is off the bench. He will bat for Jorge Barrosa to lead it off. Fernandez, Moreno, Del Castillo against Senzatella. Jose was part of the comeback in the opener last night. He laid down a perfect sac bunt to help build that 9th inning. And he will lead it off. Senzatella picked up his 3rd save of the season against the Diamondbacks last week at Colorado. Now he's in line for the win. Diamondbacks have been out hit 9-7. They're down 3-2.
Back-to-back cutters from Senzatella to start the sequence here. I mentioned he throws 3 different fastballs. That little cutter right there, a sinker that'll work down and into the righties, and a 4-seamer that he tries to throw across the top of the zone.
He's certainly found a new role and done very well in this new role as a back-end bullpen guy after all those years as a starter in the Rockies rotation. Part of the Venezuelan team that won the World Baseball Classic this spring. Jose takes it, and here's a challenge.
Catcher's challenging.
Nate Tomlinson, the plate umpire. Goodman will challenge, trying to swing the count.
Call's overturned. Counts 1-2.
Just nipped the bottom of that strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was after 3 cutters in a row. He reared back and fired that 4-seamer down in the zone that time. Just nipped the bottom.
Punched foul. Moreno on deck, then it's Del Castillo. Fernandez to center. McCarthy's under it. 1 away. Well, it was Moreno that came around after a leadoff walk to score the winning run last night on the Corbin Carroll walk-off single. Gabby tonight 0 for 3.
Yeah, that was a great at bat last night, leading off 8-pitch walk.
Down to their final 2 outs. Del Castillo on deck behind him. Well, he throws hard in this new role. Everything's upper 90s for Senzatella. Now 31 years old, veteran right-hander. High chopper. Karros in front of Tovar. Gabby nearly beat it out, but he's out for the second out. And it's up to ADC. Dell 0 for 3. Senzatella missed large chunks of the 23 and 24 seasons after Tommy John surgery. That was in July of 2023. Returned last year, got hit pretty hard, and now is converted into a back-end reliever where he's been very effective. Now in his 10th season on the Rockies pitching staff. .98 right by him, and it's 1-1. Waldschmidt would be next if Dell can reach. .99, and they're down to their final strike. Back with you tomorrow at 6:30. 7:10 first pitch. Zach Gallen against Michael Lorenzen. 1-2 on Adrian Del Castillo. Fights it off. Stevens has got it, and Colorado comes back to steal it. 1 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. And they've evened the series at a game apiece, snapping the Diamondbacks' 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. Just an unfortunate circumstance for Michael Soroka, who certainly pitched well enough to win this ball game tonight. Got clipped short by his skipper tonight, and the bullpen just couldn't get it done.
And the Rockies, who had been just 3-18 at Chase Field since the start of the 23 season, get a come-from-behind win here. Jody Jackson, Brandon Webb standing by. Post-game show follows right after this short break.